Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing great today. I'm really excited to take you on a quick but interesting journey into a topic that is everywhere around us: linear equations and one variable. Don't worry, we will keep things simple, clear, and a little fun. By the end of this short session, you will not only understand what linear equations are, but you will also be able to solve them like a pro. And yes, we will do some quick examples together, so be ready to participate. Now you might be wondering, why should we even learn this? It's a great question. Well, believe it or not, linear equations help us solve real life problems, like figuring out how many books you can buy with a certain amount of money or splitting a bill with friends. It's all about balancing, like a weighting scale. Interesting? Yeah, right. Okay, now we have an example in front of us. That is, I think of a number, I double it and add 3, the result is 11. What's my number? So it's a word problem question. So you have to convert into a linear equation. So first of all, you have to imagine, you have to assume a number here. So let's suppose I'm taking a number x here. So with the question, they're saying that I have to double the number. So you have to make it twice. So I'm writing here 2x and you have to add a 3 in it. So I'm adding 3 in it and the result will be 11. So that means it is equal to 11. So my next step will be, you have to keep all the variables on one side and you have to shift the constant on the right hand side. Now we have shifted 3 from left hand side to the right hand side. So 3 was having the sign plus, now it will be negative when we are moving it into the another side. So 11 minus 3 will be equals to 8. So my next equation is 2x is equals to 8. Now I have to shift whatever the number is there with the variable. So the number which is there with the variable, we call that number as a coefficient. So here 2 is my coefficient which is there with the variable. So I have to shift that variable to the right hand side. Now it is there in the multiplication with that variable. So it will go in the division to the right hand side. So whatever sign we are having in the left hand side, when it goes to the right hand side, the sign will be opposite. So now when I divide 8 with 2, it will cancel on 4 table. So my answer will be 4. So the value of x is 4 here. So that means the number which I have to think, that is equals to 4. Now let's begin by understanding what a linear equation in one variable actually looks like. So it is usually written in the form of ax plus b is equals to 6. Here x is the unknown variable, that is the number we are trying to find. The letters a, b and c are real numbers. That means they can be any number, positive, negative, whole or decimal. Now, why do we call it linear? Because if we were to draw this on a graph, it would form a straight line. So that's why it's called a linear equation, which represents a straight line relationship. So, in today's session, we will learn how to solve each equation step by step, and yes, we will do it together. In addition to it, now I'm going to explain what are variable, constant, coefficient, and why do we call it a linear. So now, variables. A variable is just a symbol for any unknown number. Most of the time we use x. It's like a box with a secret number inside, and our job is to find out what that number is. Now, what are the constant? A constant is a fixed number, something that doesn't change. For example, in the equation x plus 5 is equals to 12. So number 5 is a constant which doesn't change. Now, what are the coefficient? As I told, the coefficient is the number which is multiplied with the variable. So in the previous equation 3x, the number 3 is the coefficient of x. And at the last but not the least, what is the linear equation? Why do we call it a linear? So the variable which is having a power of 1, that means we are not squaring it, not cubing it, just a plain x. This makes the equation straight, simple and easy to solve. Now that we understand the parts of a linear equation, let's look at the steps to solve it. There is a simple method that works every time. Just follow these 4 steps. The step number 1 is simplify both sides. So it means before we do anything else, let's make sure both sides of the equation are simplified. That means combining like terms and getting rid of any brackets if there are any. Number 2, move variables to one side. So next we want all the x, the variables on one side of the equation. Usually we move them to the left hand side by subtracting or adding. So the third step, you have to move the constants to the other side. So that means now the variables are on one side, so let's move the constant, the numbers without x, and that we have to move to the other side, that means on the right hand side. Now the last step is isolate the variable. It's mean we have to isolate x. So that means we will solve x by dividing both sides by the number that is in front of it, which is there in the coefficient. Now we have learned what are the solving techniques for the linear equation. Now I'm having an example in front of you, that is 4x minus 2 is equals to 80. So this is a linear equation. The power of my variable is 1. So as we have discussed that I have to keep the variable on one side and I have to shift the constant on the other side. So I am going to shift the 2, which is a constant, and it is having a sign of minus. So I am going to shift on the right hand side, and now minus 2 will become plus. So whenever we are shifting the constant or variables to the other side, we have to change their sign immediately. So now after shifting it to the other side, I have to subtract or add. So it's depend upon the operator, what is there in between. So 18 plus 2 will become 20. So the next equation will be 4x is equals to 20. Okay, so we have discussed that the coefficient, we have to place it on the other side. So the coefficient of x is 4 here. So now I am going to move 4 to the other side. And 4 was in multiplication with x. So when I'll shift 4 to the right hand side, it will go in the division. So 20 divided by 4. And yes, when we divide 20 with 4, the answer will be 5. So therefore, my solution of this linear equation is 5. Now my next question is in the form of word problem. So it is very easy. You just have to understand the word problem. You just have to understand the meaning of the sentence, and then you have to convert into the mathematical form, or we can say into the linear form. So a number increased by 9 is 17. So let's suppose my number is x here. So I have to add 9 with x. So it means we have to add something into a number. So they are saying that number is always increased by 9. So x plus 9. And the result is 17, so that means it is equals to 17. So this is my linear equation. X is a number which is increased by 9 plus 9 and which is equals to 17. So now I have to solve this linear equation. My variable is x. It will remain on the left hand side. The constant is 9. I'm going to shift constant 9 with 17. Plus 9 will become minus 9. When I'll subtract 17 with 9, the answer will be 8. So my solution of this linear equation, which was given in the word problem, is equals to 8. So here are some questions in front of you. I have written 3 questions here. First question is very easy. It is in the form of linear equation. You just have to shift the constant to the right hand side. In the second question, there is a bracket. So you have to open the bracket first of all, and you have to shift the constant to the one side and variables to the one side, and then you can solve it the way we have done. Third question is given in the form of a word problem. A number is tripled and reduced by 5, giving 16. So my number will be x here. So I have to triple that number. I have to write 3 times of that number. That means 3x. And reduced by 5, that means minus 5. And the result will be 16. So just the way we have solved the linear equations earlier, so solve in the same way. Now let's quickly go over some common mistakes that students, including all of us, at some point make when solving linear equations. If we are aware of these, we can avoid them and get the right answers more easily. So first of all, the first common mistake is not balancing both sides. Remember, whatever we do on one side of the equation, we must do the same on the other side. That's how we keep the equation balanced. Forgetting this, one of the biggest mistakes. The second one, misplacing negative signs. So that means whenever we are placing the signs, we should be very careful. A small sign mistake can change the whole number. So the next third one is ignoring the brackets. Always pay attention to brackets. They change the order of operations and must be simplified very correctly. The last one is skipping simplification steps. Sometimes we rush and try to solve it in one step, but missing a step, especially combining like terms, can lead to confusion or wrong answers. So, if you remember to balance both sides, handle signs carefully, respect brackets, and simplify step by step, you are already ahead of the game. So let's wrap up with a quick recap of what we have covered and how far you have come. We begin with a number puzzle. We started with a simple number puzzle to spark curiosity. You were solving equations before you even knew it. We mapped out what and why we learn linear equations. That means we looked at what linear equations are and, more importantly, why we need them. That is to solve real world problems, puzzles, and even understand patterns. We use simple to complex problems and examples. That means we didn't jump into the deep end. We started with the basics and slowly moved towards more challenging equations, step by step. Then every topic naturally led to the next. That means each concept built on the last, from understanding variables to solving multi-step equations. Nothing came out of nowhere. And here you are. You have practiced solving equations, understood common mistakes, and followed a clear strategy. You have got this now. So next time you will see a linear equation, you won't be puzzled. You will be prepared. So here are some practice questions in front of you. 3 questions are given. It's the same questions we have discussed in the previous slide. The first equation is given you in the simple form. Second question is having a bracket, and the third question is a word problem questions. Thank you all for your time and attention. I hope linear equations feel a little less scary now and a lot more useful. Remember, Equations are just puzzles waiting to be solved, and you have the tools to solve them. Thank you. Bye bye.